we take a look at the series layout. Empyrean CTF will be game one. Complexity probably looked at that like an opportunity. I believe that was game one. Yep. And with that as the opportunity, I think that they have a lot of history in the Halo 3 form of the pit. So you're maybe trying to look at the bright side and maybe a light at the end of the tunnel as that being an opportunistic game type, but I fear with the more S7s that come into play in this series, the more damage SSG will do.
I think they're going to have to really rely on that map number 1, because map number 2, the 7-1 SSG in that live fire Slayer, that is going to be a tough one to crack, but crack they will have to. Jersey, Gaskin, it's over to you.
Well, whether they're cracking or breaking eggs and making omelets, one thing we do know, game 1 Empyrean CTF. And an issue I do have, Dan, is SSG played against Sentinels yesterday. 3-1 was the score, but that game ended very quickly, so SSG know exactly how to play this map, and they might be one of the best at it.
One of the best to do it. What do Complexity have left in their tank then? They've been put through the ringers with all their matches so far.
Shields up, weapons hot.
I was gonna say it.
No, you're underway.
A chance now for SSG to show what they are made of and show why they should be progressing further into this tournament. And they've already got an overshield to work with right at the start of this game. Are we going to see an SSG that is just going to walk over Complexity here, or will Complexity turn up just like they did against Optic Gaming on day 1?
StelluR still has a bit of overshield to play with. Rayne's going to try and run that flag. Try as he might, he's going to lose his face. Gets his wig well and truly peeled. Breakingshot could be the latest victim of StelluR's sniper rifle. Will delay his death for now, but that's all he's going to do, because he is eventually going to end up in the crosshairs of SSG's.
At the moment, StelluR just eyes trained on trying to take everyone of this Complexity roster out with his sniper rifle. Rayne maybe going to be the next target. Doesn't quite connect with that one, but the flag is moving. And Eco's got that information, so he's not going to run it. Instead, he's just going to make sure he gets that kill. But it is SSG who have a little bit more control to begin with, but Complexity have certainly defended well here.
RyaNoob, last man standing in the green box, down to no shields. Gonna try and do some damage on the way out, and he did so, got bound down to no shields. Unfortunately for him though, no teammates there to capitalize the damage that he had done. Huss off the respawn, and Mauler moves towards long haul, but has a lot of guns trained on him. He's not long for the life. 3 dead now. RyaNoob again the last man standing, but again not for long as he falls. 4 dead for a moment for Complexity. Bound picks up flag, and that thing's on the move.
Ooh, a little fumble. Will allow Complexity off spawn maybe to get an angle, but Bound is going to have the cover and should be able to get this one down long haul, but just needs to work back. Notices that a couple of his teammates have taken some damage here, and I wonder if that small delay may have just stopped him getting a little bit further down, but it may not matter because 3 have fallen yet again. Rayne has got behind enemy lines, but he should be swiftly dealt with by StelluR. This is going to be a cap.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. SSG take the lead here. And you spoke about Bound in the last series against ITB, how he continued his dominance in his form, not wanting to go out with top 12. 8-1-1 to start off the rip. That's a pace setter, that's a statement maker.
And as a reminder, both of these teams are currently in top 6, so this is playing for top 4. And you will then be facing off against potentially FaZe Clan for top 3 with how that elimination bracket is lining up. But of course, you've still got the likes of Native alive, and Eco still has this flag alive, and it's going to be 2-0. So comfortable, so easy at the moment. Arguably too easy to get these flags home.
Eco nursing that flag all the way home. Do Complexity have a response here? Or will they fall the same victim that Sentinels did yesterday? The game over in a flash. They have got to find a response. Huss is going to try and get the sniper rifle, but he's got to start hitting some shots, and little does he know, Bound is right behind him.
Bound on 11-1 at the moment. Could very soon be 12, and it will be, and now you've just rewarded him with a sniper rifle, and Bound's probably thinking, you know, I could run this flag, but maybe I could just keep going with the stats. Again, it's just another mishap with the flag, but at this point, I don't think it really matters, as again, Bound will be running it home, and this has just been too easy.
Simple stuff. Kills are being happening around the map. RyaNoob's going to try and get the pull. He will get there. Killing frenzy for Bound. And he's got teammates there to get the return. Just slammed this one in. Complexity are trying to make this difficult. They've gone 3 dead, and they might have been successful stopping this flag cap.
Well, I said it was too easy. Complexity have just been able to do a little bit of something right at the death. But SSG, they try and send everything, and the re will come through, so it won't be game over just yet. Complexity may be coming to life just at the right time here. Looked like they were down, looked like they were out, but now they just keep things going.
Have they only delayed the inevitable, though? That's the question. Currently being outslayed 35-18.
I mean, they've certainly given Bound the chance to get even more kills on the board here. I'm not sure he's going to be complaining, as he was almost blaming.
That's good from you. Good from you. Breakingshot, S1. Gets the shield ripped right from him. Huss is there too. As a matter of fact, 3 members of Complexity situated over towards the snipe side. And that will mean Spacestation can start to squeeze and pinch from the high side.
Oh! Bound is just on a tear. You don't really want to face him in a 1v1 right now. But Complexity have been able to wrestle back a little bit of map control. There's currently a fiesta happening over towards Sword side. But that means that Spacestation are not in a position to be dominating their flag like they had been previously. Overshield's going to be coming up though. Bad news for Complexity fans. It's in StelluR's hands.
And now it's in his chest. He's got a repulsor to play with, and you know he's going to be looking to use that in the rocket player. 2 rockets, swing and a miss. No damage really done from it. I'm going to try and garner an advantage another way. The overshield player was nullified, and perhaps that's the opening they need. Because right now, they have just been clinging on in this game, but they have got to start being the aggressor in these situations.
One flag, though, can just change everything. Of course, we saw earlier when Spacestation were going up against Cloud9, they had a 2-0 lead on Aquarius, and suddenly that dissipated right in front of their very eyes. Slightly different here on Empyrean, though. Takes a little bit longer to get that flag from point A to point B, and the spawns can be very tricky to deal with as well. 6 minutes still left, though, so plenty of time for Complexity to work with, and I wonder, could SSG have got that flag back, that 3rd flag back, that little bit faster to put this game to bed? But now it just gives the Complexity the chance to try and make a comeback.
Opted again to try and run this flag under bridge. This time it's been more successful. They've got it further. Last time Rayne tried to make this run, he got his face peeled. Bound's gotten a kill though. 2 dead for Complexity. The remaining 2 members going to try and have to stay alive, but 3 dead. RyaNoob last man standing.
Was temporarily 4, and RyaNoob the first one up. And he's actually going to be spawning over towards Needles. And that means they're going to get collapsed on, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a split spawn, but they do fight well back-to-back, Rayne and RyaNoob. They've been doing that for years.
A little bit of ore and ore. StelluR dies in green box. RyaNoob can then push forward. Has aspirations of getting in that base and pulling the flag, but unfortunately for him, pushed all the way back to the respawn screen.
Flag's going to get returned. And it's job done for SSG, just making sure that one didn't go too far. Or for Complexity, excuse me. But I will say this sword has been the focus point for both these teams ever since that SSG lost that control of the flag side. And maybe Complexity should just say, you know what, screw it. We'll let you have sword control and we'll just try and push down long haul a bit, get green control, but then this is what can happen. So you leave yourself very vulnerable to the pinch.
You know Spacestation have intentions of making it to the grand finals. And they're going to have to do it the hard way. We mentioned it before, but no team has ever won a major championships outside of FaZe Clan at Worlds. Every major the Spacestation have ever won in Halo Infinite has been through the winner's side. That's how big an advantage having that winner's side is. They're going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to do it the long way. And right now, they're having to do a brawl and a grueling run through the elimination bracket. But speaking of run, Bound's got the flag, and he's almost got it all the way home.
Yeah, you speak about the long way. It'll be the long haul as the avenue, as the route, as the 3rd flag is finally put in. It almost felt like Complexity were just delaying the inevitable, as it was a very one-sided affair. 68-40 in terms of slays. Bound had a field day, and SSG take a 1-0 lead in this series.
And it is times like this, in series like this, that you look towards players to be the point of difference. And Bound, in more series than one now, has been that man. Really matured over the course of Halo Infinite's lifespan. And he is a special talent, Dan.
He really is, and we're going into Slayer Livefire again, which is exactly where we left off in that previous series with Cloud9, where Bound was on a tear. And he just seems like he's gone from strength to strength so far this tournament. maybe had some quiet games to begin with, and perhaps that's why SSG find themselves in the elimination bracket in the first place. And of course, the whole team doesn't just arrive around Bound. It is not all going to be about him, but he can make such a big difference with the amount of slaying power that he has to offer. But he was constantly in the face of complexity during this game, always pulling that flag as well, and happy to run the objective for the team.
Yesterday, in an interview with Blaze, they had RyaNoob speaking, and he said after the victory over Optic Gaming and Quadrant, he was unsure whether they were overperforming or the teams they played against were underperforming. Well, one thing we do know is Spacestation Gaming are not overlooking them here.
Spacestation want to get to bed, they want to get some rest, and they want to start thinking about Championship Sunday, and perhaps that's why we saw a very quick and efficient start to CTF Empyrean. The Spartans are locked and loaded as well, as the SSG fans staying late into the night here in Salt Lake City to support their team. StelluR Livefire is where we head for game number 2. And as Lottie alluded to on the desk, it is one of the better StelluR modes for this team. They are 7-1 across the season. And we will again be focusing on Bound, because that average of 14 kills per game on this map is pretty insane.
Well, we don't have long to wait. Loading into game number 2. And this one could be a real swing game for Complexity, because if they go down 0-2, they are in big trouble of being eliminated here and now. They need to wake up, and they need to have a better account of themselves in game 2. But for Spacestation, you go back to the recipe that's brought you success time and time again, and you get the job done here in the StelluR.
Just allow it to be Bound's playground, allow him to roam free. And one way to stop that is sending 2 players to try and shut him down immediately, but he still gets the trade. But it will be the early engagement going in favor of Complexity. As I say that, StelluR just shuts down the member of those top middle. And the real question will be is, where does this sniper rifle end up? It actually gets repulsed towards them and falls into the hands of StelluR. That's never good.
Not even Amazon have that good delivery. StelluR would snipe though. Huss! You're going back to the respawn screen. Fade to black. StelluR has the run of top middle. 3 dead for Complexity for a moment. And Eco's got the camouflage. This is bad news bears for Complexity.
StelluR's just taken another head off as well. Sniper rifle, camouflage, and Bound. And you throw in Legend into the mix. It's the perfect concoction for destruction here. As Eco takes down one more, it's a 4-kill lead here for SSG. Complexity already on the back foot, or as Clutch would say, the back heel.
Back feet, he says. We've had this conversation at great lengths. That's not the expression, Wes. And he keeps doubling down, tripling down. He's trying to talk through the microphone, but nobody can hear him. And I promise you, he's not agreeing with us. Rayne's down to no shields, and now no life. Player swords out scoreboard, equals the odds. Sniper rifle has transitioned over towards Huss. Now, what can he do with it? Can he be as efficient? Can he have the same kind of precision as a player like StelluR? The answer's no for now.
Yeah, we found out pretty quickly, and all that ammo is going to be gone as Bound again doing Bound things. Surely not only the double, but he will feed that information to the robot himself, Eco. Always looking to try and exterminate someone on his way and on his route in, and he will find another player in his path. So it's 18-13. And I think Clutch may have hit the nail on the head with SSG being given a ticket back into this tournament. With Cloud9 not quite closing out, I think it gave new life into this SSG roster, who started to believe, hey, we can still go on, we can run this gauntlet, and we can still win this tournament.
It's almost like they're playing on house money here. That's how close they came on 2 occasions against C9, who no doubt are kicking themselves in the back, because those opportunities do not come around enough. StelluR though, camouflage, just locked in a double kill as well. And they keep picking up the camouflage and the sniper rifle, and it's really starting to be a problem for Complexity.
And you said kicking yourself in the back, difficult to do. Have you ever tried it? You just kicked an entire chair onto Lottie.
I tried.
Are you okay?
I'll probably kill Lottie.
Literally. That's the best thing I've ever seen. Anyway, back into the game. But Complexity try as they might, but they run into StelluR. The triple for the man. And maybe he's going to be the one who takes the plaudits.
Bound with snipe then. Sells for a trade. That's good enough. What can StelluR do? They've already got such a massive lead here. You can't see them throwing it away. Complexity have got it all to do. It's a long road back in this game. But it's not over just yet.
It's good pressure from Complexity. I mean, they don't fear a Space Station. They're not scared to take this fight, sadly. You are going up against a team who are just so individually powerful, and then when you put them all together, it's almost like Thanos' gauntlet. You just turn into a different beast and can take down whoever they face. With a deficit like 8 kills, you want to slow this game down. You want to try and slow this pace from Space Station, and it's very difficult to do.
Lqgend uses the QT, repositions. Continues to do damage, gets 2. 3 dead for Complexity. You've got to stop Lqgend making plays like that.
It's so difficult to do, though. All of them now on SSG are picking up double kills, triple kills, the multi-kills galore. As they're starting to feel themselves, starting to kind of match that pace that we would expect from them right at the start of this tournament. Breakingshot just try as he might to escape. You cannot avoid Lqgend. He's inevitable.
And every time I look towards Complexity, they're 3 dead, 4 dead. They've really not been able to breathe. And that's the pacing difference. Playstyle-wise, Space Station Gaming are a nightmare for a team like Complexity. They just keep on holding forward. They do not let you breathe. They suffocate you. They continue to do it now. 3 kills required.
Start to chalk it up, start to think about map 3. This one, there's not going to be a comeback. There's no miraculous story for Complexity, especially with Lqgend having the camouflage as well. The final 2 get punched home as SSG now 1 map away from finding themselves 1 step closer towards Championship Sunday.
StelluR in the bag. Games 1 and 2 successful. Work almost complete for the night. 1 game left then for SSG. For Complexity, they really need to wake up because they are on the brink of elimination here.
Certainly difficult to do late into the night as well, but you have to dig deep. You have to try and find something, but it's difficult when SSG are playing in this way. They do not even give you an inch, so you're not going to be able to take a mile. As we look back at some of the highlights, I mean, there was a lot of individual prowess from these players. I mean, SSG, every single one of those players on your screen was pulling off something dirty the further we got into that game. They were almost competing with one another to see who could pull off something crazier.
Really was multi-kill after multi-kill. StelluR get putting in work, then it was Lqgend. It was like they were taking turns. Really did what they wanted to Complexity with very little fuss. With game 3 on the horizon, Dan, please tell me it looks a little bit better for Complexity.
It's going to be Stronghold's interference for game number 3. And I'd like to tell you that does look better for Complexity, but I think we know full well that this is the bread and butter of this roster. Players who not only were very familiar in with Halo 5, but dominated, won championships in this game. And I think that maybe we are looking at a potential 3-0 here, which would be a sad ending to Complexity's tournament, of course, after the brilliant start they had against Optic Gaming when they went against all odds. And really, the whole reason this bracket is in this place was because of Complexity. But maybe now this could be their last map, unless they are able to find a little bit of that magic that we saw yesterday.
Maybe this series has just been 1 step too far for Complexity. We're about to find out because they're on the ropes and Space Station have not finished throwing punches. Are they about to hit the map for the 3rd and final time, or do they still have some fight left in them?
We need to see something from Complexity, otherwise SSG will run rampant here. They are a devastating team to play against, especially on Stronghold's interference. And if they get going, this could get ugly. Already 1 on the board for Lqgend, gets an assist alongside it. And it's going to be 4 dead for Complexity. And maybe this one really could get ugly.
Lottie asked Clutch at the start of the series, do Complexity have a chance? And he almost laughed. He said, absolutely not. And I hate it when he's right. But Complexity have not looked good enough. Spacestation have just looked like a class above here in this series. It's almost like they don't belong on the same server.
Well, I think it's a case of, you know, it's not a Complexity not looking good enough. It's Spacestation looking too good. And what we expected from Spacestation all tournament long. When they were letting the likes of Cloud9 get into these games, I think that we were all scratching our head a little bit. Hold on a second, that's going to be a triple. Maybe an over waiting for Bound here, but does get stolen away. But 44 points already on the board here, Shurs, and I think you're right. There is a difference in class between these two teams.
Different gravy. Triple cat locked in. And Complexity are spawning in the worst place on the map. That's down in the bunker, because there's very little avenues and routes that you can take that will get you out of trouble. StelluR gets 2. RyaNoob will answer back with a grenade, but he is already in the respawn screen. Again, Complexity go 3 dead, 4 dead. They cannot find their footing here.
And whilst it has been a tournament of incredible games, incredible upsets, we are starting to get to the business end, and once more it seems to be the same old familiar faces, the same old big names that are getting to the latter stages of this tournament. SSG would be locking in a top 4 guaranteed. FaZe will be playing native for top 4, and then of course we have Optic and Shopify in that winners bracket. The same big 4, as we have to give that to Shopify now. They have put themselves up there, but it's 155-0 here. And it is hard to ignore the dominance that we are currently witnessing on our screens.
It's another triple kill, excuse me, for Bound.
And a triple cap.
And a triple cap is right. Huss is trying to change that, as is Rayne. But now all members of Complexity are really where Spacestation game and want them to be. Huss is situated over towards bottom tower. Legend's going to get that kill. They're just not winning the 1v1 engagements. Outmatched, outgunned, outfought here. Double kill for Eco. He can step in, capture A for free, and they're going to spawn outside once more.
Dare I say, I almost saw a smile from Eco there as he managed to put that second bullet in to get the double kill. It's a trip cap yet again. The SSG chants are once more echoing around the arena here in Salt Lake City, because the fans definitely have something to scream and shout about here. This has been one of the top performances from one of the top teams here at this tournament.
Members of Complexity all trying to run away, and somehow Eco is playing swap every single player down to no shields. The best they've been able to do all game long is get one single stronghold. It's a killing spree for Eco. And Breakingshot's not long for the world either. They capture A again, but it's all for naught. Spacestation keep on scoring, and Complexity remain in the blender.
And this may well be a 250-0 here to finish off the day. What a performance it's been.
It's an absolute rout, and Spacestation Gaming complete the clean sweep, and they put Complexity to the sword. They progress, and Complexity go home.
It is a shame for Complexity to exit the tournament in that way after putting on such an incredible display for us yesterday. Alas, when you come across an SSG team playing in this manner, it is difficult to even get a kill on the board, let alone a point, let alone a flag. Extremely one-sided in the end, but a top 6 for Complexity, and it is them bettering themselves from the previous event where they got top 8. So as they look towards the World Championships, maybe there they can go one step further and break into that top 4. But for now, it is all about Spacestation, and it is all about the hometown heroes, and it's a good time to chat with someone on the stage. Blaze, who have you got?